Welcome back, everyone. I'm Bailey.
And I'm Raquel.
And this is the Whole Shebang podcast. Hello, and welcome back to the Whole Shebang podcast, episode 28. And today is a bit more of a serious episode. We wanted to talk a little bit about imposter syndrome.
We did say in episode 26 that we would do this, so now we're doing it. Neither of us are happy about it.
But we will get through because I'm feeling imposter syndrome right now. And we will
do this. We've moved it
many times.
Many times. And it's something important that we both thought, we experience a lot of.
And we do know that a lot of other people experience a lot of it as well. So to touch base on it as a more serious episode is,
We're trying to be serious, but if you're watching this on YouTube, you'll probably notice both of us reacting. It's because Bailey's dog is very sad and outside the door of our little recording room. So
yes, and she's crying.
It's really hard to ignore. If you are watching this and you keep seeing us look to the side, that's why. But if you're just listening, hopefully you're not also hearing all of her little sad, pitiful whining.
All right, let's get started on this episode.
Okay, so I did what any person does and goes onto Google and typed in imposter syndrome to find out what the AI would spit out at me.
Yeah, go ahead.
Now I'm going to tell you what it spat out at me, not that you can't all do this yourselves. Imposter syndrome is a psychological pattern where high achievers doubt their accomplishments, feelings like fraud, who don't deserve their success despite evidence of competence, often fearing exposure as incompetent due to luck or deception. It gives me some symptoms and characteristics. So, persistent self-doubt.
Got it.
Feeling like a fraud even though there's evidence of your ability.
Got it.
Fear of exposure.
Got it.
Attributing success to luck.
Yep, very much got it.
Perfectionism and overworking.
Yeah, got it.
Sensitivity to criticism. Minimizing input. So feeling your ideas aren't valid or necessary, leading to avoiding sharing them.
Got it.
Would you like to know some common causes and risk factors?
Is this going to go into childhood trauma?
No.
Oh, surprising.
Oh, I lied.
Oh, not
Family
surprising.
dynamics.
No, wait, serious. We gotta be serious. Control yourself.
This is how this goes. You guys know. If you've listened, you know. Growing up in environments that emphasized achievement or where praise was conditional.
That never happened with me. I was praised all the time.
I mean, I don't experience that as when I was young, so for me, that's not one of them. New environments, so transitioning to new roles, academic settings, that's definitely me. Or underrepresented groups. This one also feels like it's calling me out a little bit. Personality traits like perfectionism or high achieving tendencies.
That's you.
Yeah. And societal pressures, so feeling pressure to succeed in demanding field. Yeah.
Yeah.
So should I ask you the questions first?
Yes, you ask me the questions and then we will expand.
Okay. Have you experienced imposter syndrome before, Riley?
Yes, I have experienced imposter syndrome before, Raquel. It was...
Yeah, what was it? Let's talk. We should get a couch in here and do like a therapy session.
I need to lie down. This is a lot to go through.
We're trying.
But yes, I have experienced it before.
So
otherwise, I wouldn't be here.
Well,
Or
you would be
this.
here. This is your house.
I guess I would be here. It is my house.
So give an example of a time that stands out where you experienced imposter syndrome. So questions like, what were you doing? Who were you with? How did you... And we'll talk about how you dealt with it later, but let's talk about... Give an example. So it's going to be a little anecdotic.
Well, I wasn't really with anybody, but in my job as a dog groomer, there are a lot more people becoming well-known on Facebook, Instagram, a lot of other social media sites, and the industry itself is growing. And being with the industry since I was 15, even though I could have been doing it for longer than they are, I feel like I'm just second rate to what they are. And
We're impacting a lot of deep trauma here.
so deep. So professionally, I would say imposter syndrome has it comes on when I see people achieving things, and then I also wish that I could achieve them, but I don't see that for myself. I don't know if that's imposter syndrome. It's kind of like, oh wow, I haven't done anything compared to these people.
Have you felt it outside of dog grooming, like your profession? Where you're like with a group of people and you're like, these are really incredible people and I don't belong with this group?
I feel that with you sometimes.
Sorry.
You really make me feel like an idiot. And
Anytime.
but yeah, I feel that too with dog show people.
Yeah.
I mean, most of what I do is with dogs, so it would make sense that I experience it in that way. But I run dog shows now, and I have no idea what I'm
Apparently you're
doing.
really good at it.
Apparently I am really good at it, and I don't know. But I feel it all the time, like when they'll come talk to me and they'll ask me questions, and on the spot I just blank, and I don't know what they're talking about, but I do, because I do what they're asking. And it does feel very intimidating to be in that spot. And I do feel imposter syndrome, like I just wound up there for some random reason, you know? Mm-hmm. And I just have to try and fake it till I make it almost.
Yeah, that's definitely imposter syndrome. It's kind of like my life motto, fake it till you make it.
Right? Never gonna make it. Just keep faking it.
What about with the podcast? This is kind of a shared experience for both of us, but I'm curious, now that we are starting year 2, do you feel any imposter syndrome? Because now we actually are aware of people actually listening to it, and it's not just Judy and my mom. Shout out to Judy and my mom. Thank you.
Thank you. You know, it's hit or miss with the podcast, because I do this majorly for fun. And we're not making like any money off of it, or
We're losing money on it.
And we don't have a lot of interactions yet with people. I might be feeling more of imposter syndrome if we were, just because right now we're just making these videos and we're putting them out there. And yes, I know people are seeing them and listening to them for seconds, minutes, you know? Mm-hmm. But there's not been an actual big fan base coming on yet, you know?
Fair enough.
So I still feel like we're just talking to the camera and doing this for...
Hi, camera, you're beautiful.
For kind of like shits and giggles, right?
Yeah.
So not yet with the podcast. I mean...
500 people have downloaded our podcast as of last week.
Yeah, and you know... I mean, it could be an imposter syndrome because I'm downplaying our achievements. Mm-hmm. But to me, like, that is amazing. And we have people listening from all over the world in places that we didn't even think would listen, you know?
And we've talked about this on episode 26 a bit, kind of like your feelings of wanting to make the podcast as perfect as we can and not actually being able to do that, and how we want to make reaction videos and Patreon, and we have a lot of grand dreams, and the reality of it is not always what we can achieve.
Yeah.
For me, I'm going to jump in here about the podcast part. So if you're following us on social media, which you should be, I have been relentlessly posting reels over the last 2 months.
And it's been working.
It's been working, and you're all watching and listening, and it's great. But that, for me, has been awful. Not just in the sense of doing it, it's having to go back and listen to myself talking on this podcast. I do listen to all the episodes when they come out, and I play them just for the plays and to review it and to criticize Bailey on her spelling of things sometimes, yep. But realistically, it's going back and, you know, listening to the things we recorded a year ago and like, oh, why did I say that? Why did we keep that in? Why didn't we cut that out? Why did we think this was a good idea? It's a terrible idea. I can't believe this is on the internet and people are listening to it. 50 people have watched me in this video and I don't like the way the camera quality is or the lighting or my outfit that day. And that's been really humbling. And I guess you haven't experienced that yet, but if you go and watch some of those reels, it'll become humbling real fast.
I might have to go through and watch all those reels.
There's like 30 coming out in January, so.
But I will say, so for me, my appearance, as in, like you mentioned, you not liking your outfits.
Yeah, right now I'm obsessed with this cat hair that's on it.
I could be wearing a garbage bag, and as long as I'm covered, I'm fine. I don't really care.
Yeah, you don't care. It is fun to watch the progress of your hair in those videos.
Yes, my hair is probably the only thing about me that I change. I don't care about it per se, as in I don't style it, but I do like to change my colors up. But
to give some perspective on this, we're pre-recording, obviously. Yes. We're doing 3 episodes today. I brought 3 different outfits with jewelry and hair accessories for each one and my makeup bag, so I can change my makeup if I felt like changing my makeup. Bailey's go-to is this. And it's going to stay this for all 3 episodes.
It might. You know, I was actually considering grabbing my blanket for the next one.
Oh, changing it up.
So you might get my blanket.
And I'm so conscious of what I'm wearing that I have gone to our last episodes when we were doing this on Zoom, making sure that I was not wearing the same hairstyle, makeup, or outfit as the last video so that it would look like I changed and put effort in. Yeah, that's where we deviate.
Exactly. We do deviate in that because appearance-wise, I don't really care what I look like. Other than shaving my beard every once in a while. Maybe some of you get that. But, yeah, okay. I could see your ways with the podcast, like your thoughts.
It's very draining.
And then you also experience imposter syndrome professionally.
Yeah, should I jump into that before we talk about how we've dealt with it or how it's impacted our confidence and that kind of thing? Yeah, sure. So if you're new here, I guess... if you've listened before, I've talked about this a lot. I'm in academia. I'm a PhD candidate, which is a very fancy title to mean that I've been in school forever. Every single day is experiencing imposter syndrome. It's a cliche at this point that you're a PhD student and you have imposter syndrome. There's no PhD student who doesn't have imposter syndrome. It's really hard sometimes to remember that everybody else in the room is also feeling it. Bailey's talked about going to conferences and meeting these professionals. My supervisors are famous in my field. I have gone abroad to Europe and had people say, oh, you're so-and-so student. That's amazing. Your supervisor is so cool. Like, I agree, but it doesn't really dawn on you until you're in that moment of, oh, like these people wish they had my supervisor. I had a fellow student come up to me and tell me that they were jealous of me for getting to work with my supervisor. And I take that for granted every day. Because of that, it turns what would normally be a regular day when I'm meeting with my supervisor into an, oh my gosh, like I'm actually here doing this. Who said I could do this? Why am I allowed to do this? Part of the reason, and I think I said this in episode 26, that we were going to do this episode before, and then I said, no, I can't do this, is because the next day I was presenting in a conference that had very high attendance of over 1,000 people in my field, all experts, you know, PhD students and above, a lot of really famous archaeologists, some you maybe even know of because they're in the news, and, you know, these are really top of the field people, and I was presenting in this conference, and even though it was virtual, I was freaking out, and my imposter syndrome was so high I couldn't record this episode because I didn't want to talk about experiencing it while I was experiencing it. So it's very overwhelming. That's my school experience. That's my life. I've been in situations where sometimes I'm like, okay, maybe I'm not feeling it. Like, you know, sometimes in class, I'm like, okay, you know, I know this material. I feel confident. And then other times I'll be talking with even just my friends who are also like schoolmates, and they're doing such amazing things. And I'm just sitting in my room writing, and it's like, oh, I really need to do more. And you always can do more, and it just never stops. And it's exhausting. And just before we started recording this, I got an email about a project I'm working on that I don't think I'm qualified to work on. So, you know, it's just like an everyday experience almost. And teaching Teaching also is very humbling, where I always think I could do better and I think I could do a better job. But then at the end of the year, I give out reviews to my students, and they're so sweet, and they're so kind, and they're so nice, and it's just like weirdly uplifting. I've only ever gotten one bad review. It was from a student who never attended. So, like, that's not my problem. But the others, they're so nice. You know, you helped my learning, you've encouraged me, you've done this, and it's like, oh, maybe I'm not as bad as I think I am. But I do, like, even when I'm grading, I go back and I regrade things and I double check. And there've been times when I haven't and I've missed things and I feel really bad. And I have emailed students outside being like, hey, I missed this and I had to recently reread your assignment and I noticed that you should be getting a higher grade. Just FYI, I'm upping your grade. It has happened once. But it has happened. And there was once a little anecdote here, but I was grading a final exam. No, it was a midterm exam. And the student went to the professor after and said, I don't know why I did as badly as I did. It was because in my final math count, I missed 44 and just read 4. Whoops. It's like human error happens, but there's nothing like that gives you that imposter syndrome feeling of, oh my gosh, I can't do basic math. So that's me in my academic experience. Outside of it, I mean, everything's related to my career. I have a very particular, so this was my episode that I really wanted us to do because a year ago, oh gosh, over a year ago, I joined a group. I'm not going to give the name of it, but they're a really awesome organization and they focus on digital humanities and scholarship. And I absolutely did not belong. And if that sesame rhyme, one of these things doesn't belong here, ever applied to me, it was in that moment when I was sitting on a Zoom call with other scholars who are my age, who have their PhDs already, or who are nearly finished, who are working on these absolutely insane projects, who are getting jobs in the field, who are publishing, and they're all doing all of these very technical things that I have never even heard of. And somehow I'm a part of this group and I'm just like, I'm using an Excel spreadsheet. And they're fully taking objects and digitalizing them and turning them into 3D models and constructions and all that kind of amazing stuff that is way beyond anything I could ever imagine doing. And it was like every other week we had a meeting, and every single time here in the meeting I felt so out of place. And we'd have to talk. It's part of it. You talk, you discuss your project. And I always felt like I did not belong. But the group itself was super nice. Everybody there is very encouraging. I'm still in contact with a lot of them. They're still doing really amazing things. But it was just that moment of, wow. That was probably the biggest for me, where I was like, I do not belong here. But thank you for including me.
Well, and I think it's an important conversation to have.
Yeah, it's not talked about very often.
No, especially in a professional sense, because you do go up to people and you see them in whichever role or whichever job they're in, and you think, wow, that person is doing fantastic. But at the same time, they are probably overwhelmed by something or feeling imposter syndrome themselves or having some other struggle that they're overcoming in the moment that we just don't see.
You've talked very positively about these, people in these professions, but I'm just curious if you've ever had sort of the opposite experience where it's like, don't meet your heroes?
I haven't.
There's a scholar whose work I absolutely love, and I think she's incredible, and she has amazing ideas. And I saw her give a presentation at a conference, and I specifically went to this panel to see her present because I was like, this woman's amazing. Her presentation was terrible. Her presentation skills were awful. She read off of the screen for the whole thing. She had no real argument. And when people asked her questions, she got very defensive and angry and started attacking. And I, in that moment, was, oh, okay. I did lose a little respect there. I mean, I still read her work. I think her work is good, but this presentation just kind of shifted something in my mind at that moment where it was like, okay, not everybody is meant to do everything. This scholar could be an amazing writer and have great ideas, but they are not meant to present.
I have not been to too many conferences that involve my profession. So I do plan on changing that this year. In July, I am going to something called Master Groom Canada, which is where groomers from all over the country and even elsewhere come. And there's seminars and workshops and competition and everything. I haven't been to that since 2019 when I first started. I know that some people who are going will be some of the people that I see as influencers on social media. To meet them in person to see what they are really like is going to be interesting. There's a saying that all dog people are crazy, just like all horse people are crazy. It's a different mindset. Having been in that, I am expecting them to be some sort of crazy.
I mean, it's a fun sort of crazy.
I did end up meeting a master groomer who was on Groom Team Canada.
Is this the time when you got horribly sick in the back of your car?
No, that was actually...
shared that story. That is a story if you want to go listen to it.
That was another one. That was a master groomer in the United States. Okay. This is a master groomer from Canada. She had come down because she's also in the dog show world. And a main reason I joined the dog shows was to make connections with people in a grander sense of things. Instead of pet dogs, I would be getting more interaction with people who bred purebreds for conformation and purpose, and their grooms are completely different than the pet grooming I do. But it was a world that I kind of wanted to step into. So I met her through that because she is also a judge in Canada. And so she came down and we were talking. And she really pushed a product, like a wall product. It's a big brand in the industry, and I do like it, but I don't swear by it, you know, and I don't believe in that per se. Mm-hmm. The groomer is what makes the equipment good. But I guess for that, like, that would give me pause.
Does she make commission on it?
Yes, she does, and that's why she pushes. And that's why a lot of the groomers that use certain product will push that product, is because they are being sponsored.
I mean, it makes sense.
It does make sense.
But yeah,
I mean, like, as far as bad experiences, I wouldn't even call that bad. Just
wait till someone you super respect sees a dog groom you've done and compliments it.
Or trashes it.
I don't know. I've had experiences where just out of the blue, I got an email from a professor who's very renowned in the UK who both criticized my presentation but said I had interesting ideas. And just the fact that they would even acknowledge me is a huge deal.
Yeah. See, I haven't had that yet.
Yet. It could come.
I was considering taking Rue to the competition at Master Groom and entering as a beginner in the beginner competition class.
You should.
One thing that scares me, though.
I think you should push past it and do it anyway.
Because
the worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to get last, but you're still going to have done it.
I keep telling myself for these situations that I want to be a bit more experienced. So I do want to take classes.
You're hearing imposter syndrome in real time, everybody.
But it is imposter syndrome, and I do want to take classes on specific breed standard grooming, because that would be the competition that I want to enter in. I know, and I have started at work starting to groom breed standard trims on certain types of dogs. And there is one person that I am really interested in learning under. And I'm hoping that when I go down there and I see her, she might give me a little bit of help.
That would be nice.
I may be taking a little bit advantage of my employee, but you know what? I pay her, so this is what she's good for. I love her. My employee is amazing.
I hope she's listening to this.
She won't ever listen.
I believe that one day she will, because we're talking about her and you'll be like, I said amazing things about you on the podcast, and then she'll just realize how amazing we are and obviously listen to it all.
Obviously.
That's why everybody else is here.
Because we are amazing.
Amazing.
That's called faking it till you make it, by the way.
Try it out. Which brings me to my next question, which was, how has imposter syndrome impacted your confidence? I think that's obvious. Yeah. But have you experienced overcoming it, and how did you cope with this?
Overcoming, I don't
know. I just pretend it's not there, which is not healthy, but
I mean, I'm in the same boat.
I have found that finding mentors who are very supportive is really helpful.
Yes.
And sometimes your mentor doesn't just have to be like my professor. Like, I have a friend who's was kind of a mentor, and now she's just like a friend, but she's still very encouraging. And that is true too. Like, people in my field who are very supportive, my friends who are very supportive. Poor Bailey here, who has to listen to me complain about it all the time. And I find the more I am open about these feelings, the more people are going to say, like, no, that's crazy. And the more you hear them giving you that support, it's very helpful. But it's also very helpful to hear their experiences too. Like, oh, you're feeling like that too. Well, yeah, I'm also super nervous. Some of my friends and colleagues who I really respect and feel kind of overwhelmed sometimes by the amount of incredible things they do, talking about how incredibly nervous they are to go and stand in front of a group of people, and they're like profusely sweating like I am, and you're sitting there shaking, and you're like, oh, this person who's been doing this for 20 years is still anxious about sharing their ideas. It's okay.
Yeah, I think we lose that other people are feeling it too, because we live so singularly inside our own heads that we forget about other people's experiences. And it's easier said than done to remember that other people are feeling this too. But I think in ways of coping with it, like you mentioned, that is a way to try and take that step back and remember that everyone else kind of does feel it too.
It also, for me, has helped, and maybe you'll experience this with your employee too, is when you have people who either look up to you or depend on you and you feel useful, and you're in your field and where you feel imposter syndrome, but there's someone else who's looking up to you, who's kind of like your underling. And they're like, oh, actually, what you've told me about this is super impactful to me because, and that has been very rewarding.
Yeah, I will say, so me and my employee had to have a talk, and I told her, I said, I'm not manager material.
You didn't even used to read resumes before, so.
I said, I will never tell you you're doing a bad job.
It's true, I've worked for her.
I will accommodate to whatever experiences or whatever you give me, I will accommodate to.
She's way too nice. She should have yelled at me more for sitting around.
So yes, I am a very bad manager, but I do now have a really wonderful employee who knows what they're doing, and their work is amazing, and I have no qualms, no complaints, no anything. And she actually gave me a compliment the other day. I was working on a dog, and I believe it went, she told me, she said, oh, you have the highest tolerance for a dog's bullshit that I have ever witnessed. And I was like, oh, no, I think I'm pretty normal. She's like, no, I have never seen anyone as calm as you are with the worst dogs that I have ever seen.
Yeah, that's fair.
And it took me off guard. So I guess if I have one thing, it is patience. Because I will sit there and let a puppy completely rip my arm apart.
I think it's more than just patience for the dogs, though. I know you're not a people person, but I've heard your stories where dogs are like biting your arm and the people are freaking out and you are able to keep control of the situation somehow. And I don't know how, like, you're bleeding all over the dog and the people are screaming and they're like crying and you're like, it's fine. Like, I couldn't do that. I'd be freaking out. Like, that's not a normal thing.
Okay.
As my grandparents say, you're bubbly and happy and so personable.
And I find that so strange. That's imposter syndrome again.
My grandparents love Bailey, so much so that my Oma just took down Bailey's phone number this afternoon.
Yes, it was very amusing.
Welcome to the family.
Hey, you're welcome. Thank you. Thank you. And as for coping, I try and go with the flow and remember that this one bad day or this one bad experience is not failure. It is just life. I may feel imposter syndrome, but I am winning in my own way.
It's just really being aware of it is helpful and not letting it restrict you from doing certain experiences, like bringing your dog to a show and grooming them. We'll tell you how that goes when she's finally done it. But it's
Maybe in
also,
Toronto.
it's hard because sometimes you're just like, what if I just don't do it? I don't put myself out there and I'm fine.
Yeah.
And then you make excuses.
And then you make
And
excuses.
then you just don't do it.
Where to get over this, you really should put yourself out there
Sounds kind of like
experience this.
kind of like our videos that we started making, our reaction videos. Which if you eventually subscribe to our Patreon, you'll actually get to see. Because copyright.
Copyright. Or who knows, I may revisit and repost. Maybe.
I watched it, it's fine.
It is fine. I'm just worried about putting it up on YouTube.
I mean, I don't think you'd have problems with that one.
Okay. Well, we'll see. This has turned very deep.
Yes, very.
Wonder why. It's not like we were talking about a serious topic or anything.
Okay, but the last time we talked about a serious topic, we ranted about women's health and healthcare.
We talked about a serious topic just like 20 minutes ago. Not on podcast.
Well, yeah, that's normal. Wait, what's serious? Are you talking about the one where we made more fan fiction about ourselves after we just recorded the last episode we just did? Which you can go listen to or watch. We literally just sat on the couch after that talking about other situations we wanted to put ourselves into.
No, I was talking about the end of the world.
Oh, that's serious.
That's serious talk.
We're not doing that on the podcast.
We won't do that on
I
the
can't
pod.
The world is fun. Love yourselves. That's
Be
all the
kind.
questions I had.
Be kind to yourself.
Kind to your friends, unless they're Bailey.
Yeah, unless you've known them for 18 plus years and are going to die in a hole together. You know, it's...
Love you. We did plan our afterlife.
Yeah, and the way to the afterlife.
Yeah, well, we haven't really established how I get to the afterlife. We figured out how you're getting there, but different day.
Different day, different podcast. So with that, we're going to wrap it up. And we hope all of you have a great day.
That's such a sweet way to end this. Have a great day.
Be kind to yourselves.
We didn't just drop a whole bunch of very serious things on you. No, have a nice day. Have fun reflecting on your failures and your accomplishments.
Maybe don't do that today. Make that a tomorrow thing.
But hey, we did this episode.
But hey, we did this episode, and you know what, guys? Thanks. Check us out on our social media, and cheers.